Finally, David Bell gets it right. It took 6 games, but I think he finally threw out, again, always personal opinion, but I think he finally threw out the best 9 last night against the Chicago Cubs. And look what happened. The Reds exploded for 12 runs, and they did so against the ace of the Chicago Cubs in Kyle Hendricks. Now, obviously, getting Moose and Senzel back in the lineup, that helped as well. Moose, who got on base, 3 more times last night? It was a pretty big night for the Reds. Moose included, Senzel included, Sonny Gray dominated again, 11 strikeouts. They yanked him in the 6th inning after, an air throw by, Suarez over there. Rayleigh would come in, and he'd get roughed up a little bit, but I think you expect that from, the Rayleighs and the Reeds of the world letting up some runs. That doesn't really worry me as much as, again, the main cogs of this bullpen struggling, which I think will eventually turn around here. But you got to look at, Lucas Sims last night. On the bright side, he's pitched very well this season so far. Another scoreless appearance for him there. So it's nice to see that. But I want to get back to these Reds bats. Suarez, 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, threw in a walk. I think it was important. We've seen him get his first hit there Tuesday. Got his first hit there on Tuesday. And you've seen him come in here on Wednesday. And, first at bat, fell down, was it 0-2? Fell down 1-2, whatever it was. He fell down early in the count. He battled back. He fouled some balls off, brought the count full. Then he struck out. Yeah, he struck out, but it was like, well, look, he's starting to battle up there. He's starting to see the ball a little bit better. Even with that strikeout, it looked like a good sign. Suarez would go on to drive in a couple runs later. So I think, again, he drew in that walk as well. I'm hopeful and starting to think Suarez starting to see the better side of things here. You throw in Senzel, the other guy, right? Those 2 guys, I think, when you looked at going into that Sunday game before Senzel got taken out, that you wanted to see get going and continue to see get going with Suarez and Senzel. Senzel 2 for 4 today, or last night, home run. Again, maybe that's a good sign for him, starting to heat up a bit as well. But you know what is very surprising and very refreshing out of this Reds team this year? Now, granted, they just played the Cubs, whose bullpen, man, it made us feel pretty good about that Reds bullpen, right? Like we've been talking bad about the Reds bullpen. I tell you what, we look like World Series champ bullpen over there compared to the Chicago Cubs. They walk you left and right. But let's talk about these walks, right? The Reds have 35 walks this season. That is tied for the MLB lead. You got to forget about the Cubs struggling to find his strikes, and you got to really tap your cat off to this Cincinnati Reds lineup. I think we've seen so many times where we've seen year after year, we just see guys go up there wailing and swinging at everything. Even against guys that struggle to find the strike zone, the Reds would go up there wailing. So you really have to tip your cap off the way these guys have been playing this year. Not just looking at the other team struggling to find the strike zone, but the Reds, from a batting standpoint, doing a really good job of forcing these guys to throw strikes, running counts deeper or running counts full, getting those walks out there. That's a big sign for these Reds, especially when you consider all these guys on this team that have the ability to knock one over the fence at any given time. You get these extra guys on base. It's a big help for a team that, started a little bit slow on the offensive side. I think things are starting to turn around. I mean, they're 2-4. 2-4, not panicking. No panic here. It's all right. It's tough to lose to the Detroit Tigers. They got 1 more game against the Cubs here. I think you got to win this one as well. I think that, again, though, I think, the bullpen, I think it'll work out. I do. I really do think this is a bullpen that's got the stuff to really hammer it down here. And the bats, same story. My biggest concern, honestly, it's still David Bell. I mean, as mentioned, it took him 6 games to put together a starting lineup that didn't leave you scratching your head like, what are you doing? It took him 6 games to finally say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't pinch hit my guys after 2 at-bats every single game. Ironically so, in the game you're up 9 runs where it makes sense to do it more often. But still, it's good to see he's sticking with these guys, because for whatever reason, I don't know if it was because they didn't have much of a spring training or what it was, but it didn't matter to me. It was regular season games. You had to win. You couldn't afford to say, let's just get everybody at-bats on this team so that, because they didn't get a good full spring training. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You got to put your best lineup out there, and that is what we're going to be looking for against the Cubs. That's what we're going to be looking for this weekend, is does he consistently put out the best 9 on the field? I think that was, again, you can always debate the Jesse Winker one at DH, I guess, if you wanted to, but I'm not, again, I don't mind it. It's fine with me there. I think that was your best 9 right there. At least that should have been your starting lineup from opening day there. I think that we've seen last night. Again, does he replicate that today? Do we see some sort of shenanigans take place? That's what we're going to be watching for. I just hope, though, I hope he's learning or at the very least someone pulled him aside and was like, hey, I didn't pay all these guys for them to play half the game and for you to bench them 4 games into a 60 game season, right? So hopefully it's the brighter side of things here. We're going to see some progress out of not just the Reds, but out of their manager as well here.